Um, I guess the first time I started thinking about the priesthood, I was an altar server at St. Philip Neri Parish in Metairie, and I was serving Mass, and Father Saloy it just happened to be, I guess, the vocation weekend or whatever. So Father Saloy was given, I guess, a homily about vocations, and he said, the first time I thought about the priesthood when I was an altar server. And I'm like 10, I'm an altar server. Hey, I should be a priest. No, I want to be a basketball player. Little did I realize I'd only be 5'4", and can't play basketball usually unless I'm not that athletic either. Anyway, so I didn't really think about it for a long while. I got to high school, and I wasn't really active at my high school. I went to Archbishop Brummel. In my sophomore year, the Lord just kind of revealed himself to me in an awesome way. Back in 8th grade, my grandmother had contracted cancer, or her cancer had went out of remission. And I went to every day they had like a rosary thing during lunch. And I would just go and pray the rosary for her to be healed, and she died. And I was extremely mad. And I wasn't very active in my faith. I just kind of went about my life. And then sophomore year came around. At the beginning of sophomore year, some of the seniors gave testimony before the Mass, the first Mass sophomore year. 3 testimonies, all about their grandparents. They all prayed the rosary for their grandparents to be healed of cancer, and all 3 of their grandparents lived. And it was like the Lord saying, Kyle, you get off your high horse. You need to get straight here. And I started going back and started praying, and I had met these friends who told me about this youth group at St. Edward the Confessor, this Life Teen Youth group. So I started going there, started getting active with there. I met this priest there, Father Kyle Dave, who's a newly ordained priest, had just been ordained, and he was just so in love with his priesthood, and just so happened that we have the same name. And he just seemed so happy, so peaceful, and like I could tell that he just wanted to give everything that he had for the sake of us, for the youth, for everybody. And his homilies, the way he celebrated Mass, it was just like I found myself, I want to be like him, and it just started to come about in prayer. And I started to during these lunch times, I would start praying about, Lord, do you want me to be a priest? And I would go to Mass every day in the mornings and say, Lord, do you want me to be a priest? What's my vocation? And senior year came around, and my parents were like, Kyle, what are you going to do for college? And I really had no clue. I had still kind of thought about the priesthood a little bit, but I wasn't really sure. I started going to adoration at St. Clement of Rome, and one night, I'm praying the rosary in adoration, just asking the Lord, what do you want me to do with my life? Do you want me to be a priest? Do you want me to be something else? I kind of have this desire to priesthood, but I kind of want a sign, give me something. And I hear this person come in, and they're all being all loud and everything, and sit down, and then their phone rings, and during adoration, that was just annoying. So I go outside, and I can hear just talking, and come back in, and they asked the first person at the door, this person, I have my eyes closed, so I have no idea who this person is, where St. Peniel is. And the Holy Spirit was just like just overflowed me and say, Kyle, you have to show this person, take them to St. Peniel. And it was amazing and odd at the same time. And so I've quickly finish the rosary, and I run outside and knock on this person's door. I roll down the window, and it's a priest. And I was just like, whoa, Lord. It was utterly, it was awesome. So I tell this priest, I say, Father, just follow me. I know where St. Peniel is. We can get there, and then we can be on our merry way. So I get there, and the parking lot is packed. And I have no idea where anybody is. I wanted to talk to Father Pat Watney, who is a pastor there and still is. He had invited me to go that weekend. It was vocations weekend for the Archdiocese, and he invited me to bring me to the Mass. And So I'm looking around for him to kind of say, I was thinking about, I want to go to this thing, and I would love a ride, so I didn't have to park downtown. And as I'm looking around, I can't find him. He's not at the church, he's not at the rectory, he's not anywhere. And as I'm walking back to my car, I run into Father Kyle Dave. And I'm like, what are you doing here? And he's like, what are you doing here? Just like one of those moments. And it just so happened, he's like, why don't you come on in with me? And I go in, and it was a dinner for priests, thanking priests for being priests. Because it was right during the whole sex scandal going to all the priests. And there was just, these people wanted to say thank you for being our priests, for devoting your entire lives to sacrifice yourself, to give yourself for us. And it was a dinner thanking them. And I was just like, the Lord was, at that point, was like, here you go, this is what I want you to do. And I just, there was peace there. Like, that's where the Lord, like, I felt this is where I wanted to be. So in a nutshell, that's my vocation story. It's been difficult and confirming at the same time. When I first entered, it was a totally new experience. I've been in school with guys for the last 4 years, but to be away from my family, but it was so great because I was learning about God. I was allowed so much time for prayer, and at the Abbey, I went to St. Ben's at the Abbey, and it's so peaceful there that it was very confirming. It became difficult the year of Katrina, and just so much emotional things going on. Part of my parents' house flooded, and they were in different states, and there was just this discord in my area and my family and just everything, and it just caused a lot of confusion in me. And I'm a musician also, and I love to play music, and there was this desire in me to go play music. I wanted to play music and I wanted to be a rock star. And it was through that, like, I was trying to discern, Lord, do you want me to be a priest? Do you want me to be a rock star? And I was like, I want to be a rock star at this moment because it gives me a lot more solace at this moment than having to deal with all this pain and to deal with all this suffering. I can just sit here and play guitar and forget about everything. And as it went on, I started to pray with that and to realize that that's exactly what it was. It was just an escape. I wasn't looking at what is my gift and what is my call and what is where I'm supposed to be, where what will make me most happy, and that is in the priesthood. So.